Hey everyone, this is Ron Couming coming to you live from the Boston area, servicing people from all over the globe. Today, I'd like to welcome you to Success Secrets Revealed, but with Ronald Couming and multiple guests. Today, we have an incredible guest, Ken Joslin. I'm going to tell you about a little bit about him in a second. But first, I want to tell you the purpose of the show. Success Secrets Revealed is basically the whole premise of the show is to bring on people who have proven success strategies. They've gone out there and they've done that for themselves and others. And by bringing them on the show, the whole theory and thought process behind that is, and listening to them and what they've done and what they've overcome is going to help you as a business owner and entrepreneur to avoid those things. But God forbid you actually, get caught up in those things. You're going to learn, one, that you're not alone, that other people have gone through it. But two, and maybe more importantly, is how to get out of it, right? So you don't stay stuck in that and you can move forward. The other thing is, first, before I introduce Ken, I want to introduce our sponsor, and that's myself, my company. It's RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs much like you achieve even greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining your ideal customers and clients using various internet marketing techniques and methods. And with that said, I want to introduce Ken Joslin. He is a 10X coach, Grant Cardone licensee, and real estate professional. Ken Joslin is a driven leader and has sold hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate and mortgages, planted multiple churches, and mentored hundreds. He is passionate about business and changing lives. More than that, Ken is a generous husband, father, and friend. Help me welcome Ken Joslin. Ken, how are you?
I'm doing great, my friend. Thanks for having me on today, man. I'm super excited about being here. I'm super excited, man. That was a great intro, man. I don't know if I don't know how to follow up after that intro. That's like playing basketball the second game after Michael Jordan's on in the first game of the doubleheader. I don't know how you follow up an intro like that, my friend.
Yeah, but that leads us into a great story. First of all, your intro is 100% deserved, brother. Second, we'll get into that. But when you also mention people like Michael Jordan, he's like us. He was an entrepreneur in his own right. I mean, how many times did he get cut from college teams? How many times was he told he wasn't good enough? But he would go out and he would do whatever it took. He did what others wouldn't do to achieve things that others wouldn't achieve, right? And that's ultimately what entrepreneurs need to do to be successful. So he'd throw, others are throwing 100 free throws a day. He'd do 1,000, 1,200, or whatever the number was. But anyhow, what a great analogy. And I know, you just threw that off the top of your head, but great going. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
I could not tell you.
Not that you can tell from my accent, right?
I couldn't tell you were from down yonder, brother. But
there you go.
Here's the thing. I'm up here in Boston, and, we park our cars in parking lots and stuff like that. But the funny thing is, in Massachusetts, in Boston, we're the only place on the planet that doesn't have an accent.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Hey, real quick, Ronald, if you're good with me sharing this. So I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan. I was born in Detroit. I grew up in Pontiac, lived about half my life there. So, dude, I grew up 6 blocks from the Silverdome. I was a Detroit Pistons fan. Isaiah Thomas has been my favorite player my entire life. I know this isn't on script. I know this doesn't have anything to do with leadership, but can we just quash the whole LeBron is the GOAT thing? I hated Michael Jordan. I hated Larry Bird. But I think everybody in America, every sports fan who hasn't had anything live to watch, has been tracking along this whole Last Dance series that ESPN has done about Michael Jordan. And I'm going to tell you what, my friend, hands down, he's the best professional athlete in the history of the world, and by far the best basketball player ever. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. Coming from an Isaiah fan, who's my favorite player, I used to walk to the Silverdome. My best friend's mom worked in concessions, so we used to sit on the floor in the Silverdome when I was in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade and watch the Pistons game. So I've always been a Pistons fan. Anyway, let's just squash all the whole LeBron thing. And watching Jordan over the last 3 weeks has been like, dude, this guy is ridiculous.
Yep. I have to agree with you, except, I would say Michael Jordan would be second to Larry Bird.
Larry
But
Bird,
then
I know. Yeah, you're a Boston guy.
I'm a Boston fan, you know what I mean? But there's no
Yep.
question. You have to respect everything that Michael Jordan has done.
Yeah, dude.
And who was it? Dennis, who was the big guy who we used to
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman, he was defense, right? But who was the big guy, LeBear or something?
Bill Laimbeer. Yeah, Bill Laimbeer.
Oh, he was kind of like dirty or something because he would just post up.
No, he wasn't kind of dirty. He was dirty. Yeah, him and Rick Mahorn, they weren't kind of dirty, son. They were flat. They flat out were. Some of the things they got away with back then, even when they were playing Boston when we finally got over the hump and beat Boston before they went on and won back-to-back world championships. The play where Robert Parrish was behind him and he boxed him out, and Robert Parrish just goes flailing and starts punching him in the head, and the bench is – nobody even got ejected from that game, bro. Like, nobody got ejected. Like, now, you'd probably miss half a season for something like that. But back in the day, growing up in Pontiac, Michigan, and playing in Detroit, that's just how we did it, man. That's how we did it.
I love it. Now, you're also from Michigan, so you must be a Tom Brady fan.
I am a Tom Brady fan. I am a Maize and Blue fan. Yes, I do love Tom Brady. Yes, I do.
Why? Surprisingly.
Yep. I'm not sure how we transitioned into leadership or entrepreneurship after all of that conversation. But I kind of hijacked your show and was like, "Hey, can I just get this off my chest about Michael Jordan?" But anyway.
Yeah, but no, that's all great. But see, every single one of those people achieved, like, what I like to think about entrepreneurs, and not to say we're better or we're just different. We're like the 3%, right? And again, it's not to say anybody's better than anybody else, but being an entrepreneur, I mean, the definition of entrepreneur is the ability to withstand risk. I mean, we have highs and lows. We'll sit here and work 16 hours a day before we'll willingly work 8 hours a day for somebody else. So in some senses, it just doesn't make sense, right? But being an entrepreneur is it's a different breed of people, and not everybody's geared up for it. And it doesn't mean there's no right or wrong. I mean, we are who we are, right? Just find your niche and move forward with it. But tell us a little bit. Tell us about entrepreneurship. Tell us about.
So I would say just even I'll go back to the Jordan principles a little bit. The dude wouldn't quit, man. He would not quit. They had the Jordan rules, the Pistons did, on how they defended him, and they obviously won back-to-back world championships, but he just wouldn't quit. And I think when you talk about entrepreneurship, Ron, I think the biggest thing is, and we talked about this book here that I have, which is absolutely blowing my mind, 3 Feet from Gold. I know you had Sharon and Greg on your broadcast in the past couple of weeks. What I find with most entrepreneurs, or the business entrepreneurs and business owners that I do one-on-one coaching for business owners across the country as well now, even in Europe. I've got an attorney who I coach who owns a business, has 5 locations in Brazil, Argentina, India, Germany, and then her home location in Switzerland. One of the things I see is we tend to quit too early. And that's the one thing about Jordan is, dude, there was no quit in the guy. Like, literally, you could knock him on his tail, and he was going, "Okay, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to go ahead and proceed at going what this dream is, this vision is, this business is, whatever it is that he was wanting to do." And we talked a little bit about this book, The 3 Feet from Gold, and literally the whole premise of this was from Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, about a guy who started a gold mine business back in the turn of the century in Colorado, and literally hit a small gold mine, started making some money, and then literally just began to dig the wrong way, and literally was 3 feet from one of the largest gold deposits ever found in the state of Colorado, that made the person that he sold the gold mining rights to millions and millions and millions of dollars. So I think the one thing for entrepreneurs, Ron, people that are watching today is man, just don't quit. Is just don't quit. Have some grit. Like have enough passion. The one thing that I never get accused of is not having enough passion. I think passionate leaders. I think now in this time of of COVID-19, and we're close to hopefully being post-COVID-19. Man, the world is looking for passionate leaders. They're looking for passionate entrepreneurs. They're looking for people who, a good buddy of mine, Nate May, who runs my business development for the Ken Joslin Group, spent several years with John Maxwell. He's a little known author. I think he has 20 or 30 or 40 or 100 New York Times bestseller books. He spent years with John. And one thing that Nate said a lot over the past couple months in this time of COVID and this pandemic is that there's a lot of people talking, but very few people have something to say. And I think right now more than ever, man, the world is starving. They are searching for passionate leaders, people that are excited about their business, people that are excited about their product, people that are excited about what they're doing. And especially when you have a business or a dream where, like, literally, dude, every morning I'm writing my goals down. The very first thing I write in my 10X planner is, what problem can I solve today? Like, if you're passionate about solving other people's problems, if that's what your business is aligned to do, is how can I help solve problems for people today? And you're passionate. I think the world's starving for those kind of people right now.
I love it. And going back to 3 Feet from Gold, they're just having their 10-year anniversary this year, I believe. And it was Sharon Lechter and Greg Reed. And like you did say, they were both on my show a couple of weeks ago. I've been blessed to have them as friends and speak on stages with them across the country. Amazing people. And that's an amazing book. There's also another book by David Corbin, who was on my show a couple of weeks ago too, and it's called Illuminate the Negative. And you and I spoke about sometimes, we focus on what we can't do or what we're not good at, and we'll spend a dozen or 15 or 40 hours trying to learn something because we have to be in control, and nobody can do it as good as us, right? And there's another book you talk by Michael Gerber, E-Myth Revisited. And, so you have to learn, basically, to learn it, do it, and delegate it. Learn it to the point that you know what needs to be done and no one's going to take advantage of you, and just do it so you basically understand the mechanics of it, but you don't have to become a master of it, and then delegate it. I like to modify that a little bit and say duplicate it, because because if you delegate it, then you're trusting somebody else's skill set and thought process and decision making, and then you're going to push it out under your name, right? So you're kind of at mercy for whatever quality that they're pushing out there. For me, I like to delegate. I like to duplicate rather instead of delegate. So I will create videos. I will create processes, right? And this is one of the reasons why franchises have so much success, because they have line by line, processes. So I'll create little videos, and this is great for anybody who's going to hire a VA or do anything like that. Create these videos of what you want done, where and how, and even to the point where you just show, go up here, log in, add this here, add this there, right? So, and then you go over here, click this button, do this. So that way there, you're training that particular VA or person, but going forward, should they not work out, you just change the password.
Have it for the next person.
And have it for the next person. So
it's scalable and duplicatable.
Yeah, you got to duplicate. But this way here, whatever product or service they're producing is identical to what you would produce, except now you just go in and edit it. So you just took a 30-hour project, reduced it to like 40 minutes of editing time. You're getting paid for 30. You're paying them and keeping the difference. So that's how you scale. That's how you go from being having a hobby and being a business.
Right. So, I've got a client that I spoke with this morning, and that's what they're wanting to do now. They're looking at scaling. Like, how do I duplicate one location? How do I make it into 2 locations? How do I start a franchise? And literally, we've boiled the whole process down to culture, systems, and teams. Like, how do I get, especially on my culture, beginning with my core values in my company, how do I onboard? What does my onboarding process look like? It's amazing how many people that I talk to whose onboarding process, they take, and I say this all the time, most companies think they're 1 or 2 hires away from growth, when most companies are 1 or 2 fires away from growth. Here's what we do. We hire too quickly and we fire too slowly, when that really needs to be reversed. We need to hire slowly and fire or transition people off the team quickly. Because when we hire people the right way and we onboard them through the lens of core values, they understand the cost. Like, here are the clear expectations, as Patrick Lencioni talks about in his book, The Advantage, one of my favorite authors, on organizational health. Pat talks about clear expectations. Clarity always brings comfort. Clarity always brings comfort, and it gives people an opportunity in your business to be able to do exactly what you hired them to do. So that's culture. The systems part, like you said, if I want to grow and reproduce, are my systems scalable? Can I literally and I just had this conversation this morning with a client who has a personal assistant. Hey, listen, can you take that personal assistant's information, because she's sharp? Like, you're going to want her to grow with your organization. What does she do? You're going to want to be able to hand that to the next person and go, here's exactly what the job description looks like. Here's exactly what the day-to-day responsibilities are. Let me hand this system to you. So then, like you said earlier, not just delegate, but duplicate.
I love it. And that just keeps everything. That's one of the reasons franchises just have so much success in life. And what I also like to tell my clients, in terms of, is they can have the best websites, the best copy, the best processes. If people can't find them, they can't consider them, and they can't hire them. So one of my little catchphrases is, and I tell people, please remember this: awareness equals opportunity. Grant Cardone talks about that a lot, and we're both big fans, and he talks about that, the best known will beat the best any day.
Right. And the best product does not always win.
No.
It's the best known product is the one that wins.
Yeah, because you can have the best product, the best service, the best pricing, the best reputation. But if people can't find you, they can't consider you, and they certainly can't hire you. And that's why I love what I do with the internet marketing. I get people ranked on the first page organically, and I don't even charge them. That's how sure I am of what I do. And I encourage other business owners and entrepreneurs out there to have such a unique and powerful, unique selling proposition. You know what I mean? USP, unique selling proposition, that stands out. When I tell people, I'm not even going to charge you until after I get you ranked organically. If I tell you I get you ranked and I'm doing PPC, or I'm paying Google $2 or $1.50 a click to get you ranked, so what? They told me what I had to pay them. I cut them a check. There's no skill there.
Right. And I made the difference.
Exactly. But, and plus, 72% get past the ads, and 67% of the first 3 get all the action. So you got to know all that stuff. But, what I like to tell my business people is, get such a strong and unique selling, proposition that you stand out from, your competitors. What is like 3 things, if you could think of 3 tips that you would give a business owner or an entrepreneur to either launch, scale, or grow their business?
Ron, I have three of my core values that I share with every client that I work with. And I love I want to preface that with what you said just a minute ago. I coach a lot of business owners across the country. And like I said, now even in Europe, my starting rate for one-on-one coaching is at $24,000 a year. But what's wild is inside my proposal that I send to every client that I have, it says, as always, there is no contract. If I cannot help you grow your business, you should not have to pay me money.
I love
it.
So
I think, dude, I'm telling you, when I hit that, because people are like, because some small business owners, $24,000, $4,000 up front, travel for a day and a half via what I call a VIP session, where we are literally doing this right here, where we're whiteboarding out, and you can see, this is just from a client from the other day, where we're literally whiteboarding out what their business looks like and talking about personal, professional, and financial goals. And we're mapping out targets for the next year in every specific area of their business. Listen, if I can't help you grow, you shouldn't have to pay me. When I hit that line of my proposal, that everybody's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, why should you be contractually bound to me? If I cannot help you grow, why should you have to pay me? And I'm telling you, dude, that's the one thing I loved about when you told me that last week, when you invited me to be a part of the thing. So what are the three things that I would say to people? I have three core values that I share, personal for my team. I share this with every entrepreneur in our Growth Stack Drive online coaching on Wednesdays, my Ken Joslin group 101 coaching that I share. And they're these. It's passion, focus, and intentionality. Passion, focus, and intentionality. And I would say number one, and I said this earlier, the world is looking for passionate leaders. And people say, Ken, what's a passionate leader do? Passionate leaders do a few things. Number one, passionate leaders add value. They are intentional on adding value. This past year, I picked this bad boy up right here. I finished 7th out of 3,725 agents in the fastest growing real estate company in the nation at Virtual Properties. I did $8 million in real estate last year. About a month ago, I had one guy who's on my team here in Birmingham sitting next to my desk, and he goes, Ken, how do I get an award like that? How do I do $8 million next year? And Ron, that's with zero ad spend. I spent no money on advertising. I looked at Logan in the eye and I said, Logan, you don't. I've spent 20 years adding value to people, and I am intentional in doing that. How do I do that? Dude, it's simple. Right here, sitting beside my desk, I've got a stack of thank you cards, envelopes. Dude, I'm writing 4 or 5 handwritten thank you cards almost every day, and I'm sending those to clients. I'm sending those to past clients. I'm sending those to future clients. One of the things I do, and these are simple. It's like, Ken, how's this going to grow my business? I'm just telling you, over a period of time, consistently adding value. Passionate leaders add value. Another thing I do, I've got shortcuts all through my phone. If you go in my phone and you type in HB, it goes happy birthday, ... exclamation point. If you type in HA, it says happy anniversary, ... exclamation point. Every day when I get up, I'm right at 5,000 friends. I have to take people off and add new people all the time on my Facebook page. Every day I pull up a list of 15 to 20 friends on Facebook who it's their birthday. What do I do first thing in the morning? What's one of my morning routines? I go on every one of those pages and wish them happy birthday. Well, Ken, why would you do that? Why would you take time to do that? Because passionate leaders intentionally add value. I'm telling you, there is nothing like, and I'll 3 or 4 times a week, I'll get feedback from somebody who says, man, Ken, hey, that meant a lot for me to know what you're doing at the level that you're doing it at, for you to take 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds and wish me a happy birthday. Ronald, the second thing passionate leaders do is they attract the right people. Listen, when you're passionate about your product, when you're passionate about your business, when you're passionate about what you do, literally, I say this all the time, and you may have seen this on my Instagram page, at Ken Joslin. If I need an alarm clock to get out of bed, my goals aren't big enough. If I can't wake up in the morning without an alarm clock, I'm chasing the wrong goals. Like, my goals are not big enough. And here's the thing, people follow passion, not paychecks. People follow passion, not paychecks. Listen, people will follow you to the ends of the earth if you're a passionate leader and you intentionally add value to them. I love Patrick Lencioni, was interviewed by my good friend Ken Coleman, who does the Entree Leadership podcast for Dave Ramsey. And I heard Pat say this one time. He goes, their studies have shown that there's a threshold of how much money people need to be satisfied or happy in a specific job environment. And then after that, it's just money. It doesn't get down to the core of who we are as human beings. So when we're passionate and we treat people well and we intentionally add value, we attract the right people. The third thing that it does, Ron, is passionate leaders take risks. So what risks am I taking right now? How am I handling this whole COVID-19 pandemic? How am I taking risks in my business? You said it earlier. Entrepreneur means what, Ron? It means someone who takes risks in business. So those would probably be the 3 words. But that passion word, passion, focus, and intentionality, that passion word is huge for me. And let me say this. Some people say, Ken, I don't have a high D, high I personality like you do. I just don't have. Listen, passion isn't personality. Passion's an energy. Like the way that we express our passion can come out in our personality, regardless of how our personality is. Passion, just energy. What kind of energy do you bring to the table for your business or for your product or for your people that serve on your team?
I love it. And Ken, that brings me back to another great point that I like to focus on myself is obviously at the end of the day, you've got to make money to be in business, right? But if your sole focus is on money and seeing people as paychecks or trying to go into an event and having like your shark hat on, who can I sign a contract with?
Right.
You might achieve some level of success, but when you focus instead of that, and you can focus on ROR instead of ROI, return on relationships. Build those relationships over time. And that's how, that's when you told me that it took you 20 years to get to the point to make 800 million.
8 million. I did 8 million just last year. I did 8 million in real estate sales last year.
That's your end, right? So I mean,
that's just me.
That's your end. So that means if that's your commission, think about how much more that was actually sold in sales. So, so that was return on relationships, that over time you built relationships with X amount of people and it just grew, and you kind of like built a spider web of connections, but based upon quality and service. You served, you didn't sell. And based upon that, you just developed what you did. And I love, catchphrases. Sometimes you just really need to keep it simple. Serve, don't sell. Return on relationships beats return on investment any day.
Most definitely.
So I love that. Is there anything right now? I have like your all your contact information is streaming, and I've been alternating between your name, your introduction, my name, my introduction, and all your contact info. Is there any like opt-in, or is there anything you'd like to,
you can go to kenjoslingroup.com. I've got a free 30-minute strategy. I'd love to connect with you. Grow Stack Drive. So I've got 3 companies. I own the Joslin Group, which is my parent company. And then under that's my Ken Joslin team, which is my real estate company, my team in Birmingham, Alabama, my team in Alabama, Joslin Coaching, which is my one-on-one coaching that I do for business owners around the country and even in Europe now. And then the Grow Stack Drive brand. Grow Stack Drive is where we actually do our one-day live events. We had one scheduled in Atlanta in May with myself, my good friend David Pollack from ESPN's College Game Day, Richie Dolan from 10X headquarters. Richie is the Chief Global Officer for Grant Cardone, for all things, as Richie would say, Grant Cardone. And then we do our online coaching. So I've got a group of 34, 35 that we began a new online coaching group last Wednesday that are in that coaching group with us. And then that's obviously going to be our Grow Stack Drive. We do an Instagram live every weekday at noon. We have some phenomenal guests on there as well. So very similar to what you're doing.
I love it. And we're both big fans of Grant and Elena Cardone. And I know you're a 10X or a Cardone licensee too. Can you tell us a little bit about I know, this is a question that I already know the answer to. I'm hook, line, and sinker. I love it. I got my 10X over there. I've been to multiple events. I just love it. If I walked in the room, they'd know they'd come over and give me a hug. I got dozens of pictures with them. I'm a big fan, but there are some people who may not know. I'm kind of surprised they'd be on either your or my feeds if they didn't know. But can you tell us a little bit about that whole thing about Grant? Elena,
September, into September, 1st of October, I'm tracking on real estate, making about 10 grand a month. I'm doing well. I umpire college baseball and I referee college basketball as well. So those are 2 things that I love to do. I was just kind of bored, to be honest with you, man. I wanted to scale my real estate company. I was just wondering what the next step was going to be, Ron. And the beginning of October, second week in October, I see an ad pop up on my Instagram feed for this guy named Grant Cardone. Never heard of him. Didn't know who he was. Had no idea about him or 10X Rule, any of that kind of stuff. So I started following him that day, and about a week and a half later, I wound up on a Saturday coaching webinar, free one. Well, I've been coaching business leaders and ministry leaders for years. So I knew that the next step in this it literally was a funnel. It was a way to get me on there so I could pitch some kind of a coaching opportunity. Well, that day, Grant, the time, I think it was noon to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. At 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, my guy's still spitting fire. Bro, he hadn't slowed down. I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? So I'm listening to him. He's talking about coaching. I told him this. This is exactly what I told him. And I've shared this. I've shared this on Grant's Instagram Lives. I've shared this down at 10X headquarters. I speak for them probably once a quarter down at 10X headquarters. I said, dude, will this guy be quiet so I can sign up? I don't even know what the pitch is. I have no idea what it's going to cost me. I want to be connected and associated with this guy right here. This guy, like, he made me look like I have no passion. I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? So I hop on I'm on that call. They pitched the mentorship program as $1,000. I signed up immediately. Jack Lombard was my sales guy. I signed up. Well, I was working I was in the process of working on a $3 million commercial deal. Largest deal in general that I had ever had in real estate. It was a $78,720 commission for me. Largest commission I'd ever had up to date in 20 years of doing real estate. So I sign up on that was Saturday. Monday night's our first mentorship program. Monday afternoon, I get a call from the bank. The appraisal that we had for the $3 million purchase, I represent the buyer, comes in at $2.625 million. Well, that's $375,000 short for all of you math geniuses out there. Now, if you know anything about real estate, that's terrible. You might as well throw a hand grenade or put cyanide tablet in my deal because it's pretty much done now, right? So, and I'm not on the sales side, there's no listing agent. I'm dealing with a 70-some-odd-year-old Asian man who doesn't speak any English, and his 22-year-old grad student daughter is my listing agent. So I get that on Monday morning. Monday night, hop into Grant's call, and he's like, "Hey, we're doing 10X boot camp in Miami. You need to come. I'm going to give you. I think I got my ticket for $3,000. I wound up spending about $5,000, $6,000 that week alone for mentorship and the 10X boot camp with my travel down to Miami and everything last minute. So I book all my travel. I go to Miami. The first day I'm sitting in boot camp on a Friday, dude, my mind is freaking blown. He's talking about 10X principles. He's talking about financial principles. Two things that really stood out for me that day were the national average for financial illiteracy matches exactly the number of people who live paycheck to paycheck. That's 67%. So his whole premise was, if your people that work in your business or work for you, if they don't handle their money well, it's going to be impossible for them to handle your money well. So I walked away from that first day going, oh my God, where has this been, right? Saturday, I walk in about 8 o'clock in the morning for a session on Cardone licensee. And there's this really sharp, dark-skinned guy up on the stage named Richard Dolan. No idea who he is. But I mean, I'm a communicator. I've been on stages from 20,000 people all the way down to several hundred almost every Sunday for the past 12 out of the past 25 years. It's what I do. So when I see a guy get up there, I'm thinking, ooh, this guy's just not all passion and all spitting numbers and salesy. This guy's a professional communicator. Who is this guy? So I literally am sitting in my seat. I grab my phone and I'm searching, trying to find Richie Dolan. Now I find his Instagram account, and the first picture I see with him is him and Michelle Obama on stage together in New York City. The next picture I see is him and Barack Obama on stage together in New York City. The next picture is him and Bill Clinton and George Bush in the same picture together. Then Oprah Winfrey, then Ellen, then Kobe, then LeBron. It just goes on and on and on. So I'm sitting there, and about this time, he flashes up his resume with 2 NBA championship rings for the Miami Heat. And I thought to myself, if this guy stopped doing that to be a part of this has got to be legit. This has got to be a business opportunity that I want to be a part of. So he finishes. I meet him in the hallway. I'm one of the first ones in the hallway to talk to him, to ask him more questions about this Cardone licensee thing. So we're in the hallway having a conversation, and there's a couple other ladies out there. And Grant Cardone walks down the hallway. And we're in a kind of a private area over on the side to ask Richie some questions. And Richie introduces him to the 2 girls, to Dr. Allah, who's a great friend of mine, and Corinne as well, who both are licensees, both really good friends of mine. And then Grant turns to me and he goes, "What's your story?" And I just said, 25 years. I've been in real estate about half. and I've been in full-time vocational ministry the other half. And I said, I'm here for two reasons. I want to scale my real estate team. I want to build my real estate company. And I said, I want to blow the lid off of my mindset off of what's a lot of money. Because I was on pace to make 120 grand last year, but I was working 15, 20 hours a week. And to be honest with you, Ron, I was bored to death. We spent 5 minutes talking. He spent 5 minutes asking me questions. They're ushering him. They're trying to get him in on the stage because he's the next speaker, right? So we get done, and Richie Dolan looks at me and he goes, dude, that's karma. I've never seen Grant talk to anybody that long. Well, about an hour later, hour and a half later, we're in that Q&A session with Grant. Well, I grab the mic as soon as I walk in the door. I'm asking the first question. I shared with him my $3 million deal, right? I'm like talking about my deal, largest commission, all the scenario. He's the real estate guy, right? This is what he does.
Yep.
This is what he does. He's got $1.8 billion in real estate assets. I ask him the question.
And growing.
and growing. I ask him the question. This is what he does. He's sitting back in his chair. I'm down. There's like 20 people in the room. I'm down the table on the right. And he goes, Ken, just buy the building. And I was like, I'm 375. Did you not hear anything I just said? Right. And he looked at me and he goes, and he just leaned in. He goes, Ken, did you not understand what I said? And I said, no, sir. I've been doing real estate a long time. I do not understand what you're saying. And he said, Ken, it's really simple. He said, if you overpay for the building now, whoever purchases the building for your client, they'll overpay for it then. I said, okay. We finished the day. I called my client at 5 p.m. Eastern time in Atlanta. And I said, hey, Steve, this is Ken. I said, I'm down here in Miami at this thing called 10X Boot Camp with this guy named Grant Cardone. He goes, oh, I love Grant. I've got money invested in Cardone Capital. I said, really? And I said, so I shared with him. I said, I just got to have a Q&A session on our deal. He goes, what did he say? And I told him exactly what he said. He goes, well, let's buy a building then. So I flew back into Atlanta on Monday, had a meeting at 3 p.m. with the sellers. I negotiated a seller held second for that remainder of the $375,000 at the same interest rate the bank charged. I made $78,720 on Wednesday. The last 2 months of the year, I sold another $59,000. So literally in the last 2 months of the year, I doubled my income the last 2 months of the year. I bought in as a Cardone licensee. I started the Ken Joslin Group, Joslin Team, Joslin Coaching, Grow Stack Drive. I started all of those companies in December and January. And in the first 5 or 6 weeks of the year, we were on pace to do $1 million in revenue this year already, until COVID-19 hit. And we're still doing well. It did take a hit. But so when people say, Ken, what the 10X thing, tell me a little bit about this. Here's what I would say to you. I would say this. I would say, number one, I would say that what it's done is, and you're a 10X guy, so you're going to understand this. I write my goals down twice a day. 2 times a day, I'm writing my goals down. And one of the things we do with every client is –
Ken,
yeah, go ahead.
When you write your goals down, it's important, right? We both know this, but the listeners might not know this. And I know it was okay to interrupt you because you're good. You earlier, you interrupted them. So the people who might not be watching this, when you write your goals down, you write your goals down, not that, today I'm going to make 5 phone calls. Today I'm going to, you write your goals down. Today I made 20 calls. Write it down like you've already done it. Am I correct?
Yeah, my goals, these are my goals. These are my goals. This is how I do it. And I don't know that there's a right or wrong way. Some people do it exactly how you said. My goals are, and I've got them split into my 3 different companies. My goals are some personal, professional, some financial. My goals are to build Ken Joslin Team. I want to have 20 agents by the end of the year. I don't know a real estate team that's grown by 20 agents in 4 or 5 years, let alone 1. My goal is to do 16 million in volume this year. That's my goal. To build Joslin Coaching, I want to have 10 new coaches across the country in every different genre where we can coach business leaders and business owners one-on-one. I want to do $1 million in revenue this year. I've got a partnership already with Grant for the licensee, my own podcast, 100 people in my mentorship online, 360 in my live event. I want to lose 66 pounds, which I just hit the 40-pound mark the other day. And I want to be on GrowthCon 5 main stage next February. So those are my goals. Now my targets go here. My targets are, if I want 20 new agents and I'm in the 4th month, that's a quarter. I've got to have 6 or 7 of those agents already in process. So we're actually we are scaling and targeting ahead. Right now, we've got 7 agents that are either licensed or going through their pre-licensing right now. So we're actually an agent or 2 agents ahead of what those goals look like. But we write those down 2 times a day. Every single day, this is what I'm doing. And here's what I would say. This is why I would say a coach is super important. And our mission statement for Joslin Coaching is this, is we leverage our relationships and our experience to help clients set and achieve 10x goals in their personal, professional, and financial life. And the reason I say set, Ron, is this, because left to our own vices, we're just not going to set 10x goals. We're going to set goals that we can achieve. We're going to set goals that might be a little bit beyond reach, that may be a little bit of a stretch, but we're not going to set goals that when you look at them go, oh crap, I better not sleep till 6:30 in the morning. I better get up at 5. Like that's when I say, if I need an alarm clock to get out of bed in the morning, my goals aren't big enough. That's why. So when you set true 10x goals, what it does is you're looking at them going, whoa, okay, let's go get to work. What do I got to do? And then I take every client and I back out those 10x goals, and we create targets and we set numbers and systems over the next 3 quarters. Well, this year it'd be the next 3 quarters for them to be able to achieve those goals. And then we hold them fiercely accountable to everything that they said that they would do.
I love it, man. And I love the whole 10X lifestyle. It's a mindset and it is a lifestyle. You know what I mean? You talk, I love how you talked about the simple things about getting up. I recently told my girlfriend, who's a teacher, and what I told her was, she likes to sleep till 8:30 or 9. And I'm like, you sleep like you're a millionaire. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're already a millionaire. Yeah. I'm up at 5:15. She's like, thanks for not waking me up. I'm like, I didn't even see you. I was too busy thinking about what I had to get done. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, if you, I know you hopped on my Instagram live earlier. I had Chris and Holly Trooper, fellow 10Xers as well. They own the Boot Life in Mansfield, Ohio. So they do boots, jeans, all kind of. They've got a store. Dude, they've grown 25% overall. They've grown 25% now, year over year, from where they were last year through COVID-19. And this is the one thing I love that they said today. I don't know if you caught this or not. But they've got their kids. They've got a junior and senior in high school. They have them on Cardone U every single day. He goes, my 17-year-old son is the best salesperson I've got.
I saw
because
that.
He works on he learns every single day. What does it take for me to be the best salesperson I can be?
I love it. He's hungry, like Les Brown says. You got to be hungry, And I love how Grant, when he talks about setting yourself to 0, you know what I mean?
Dude, yes.
Yeah, he gave that example. I jumped into the mentorship. This is like my 3rd time.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this time because he not only cut the price in half if you were alumni, but then he gave you Cardone University for free.
Right.
I mean, Cardone University, I literally, I paid like $500 or something for that. But when you figure out how much I would have paid, I saved like $1,200. You know what I mean? Plus I get to associate. So I forget the exact point I was trying to make there, but the whole thing with Cardone University is the whole getting in there, listening and learning on a daily basis is just phenomenal. Getting around other like-minded entrepreneurs. Again, I go back to like, we are the 3%, and that's not that we're the 3% of earners. We are the 3% of just, people out there who are trying to do something different than, go to school for, 20 years or whatever it is, get an MBA, 2.5 kids, a car, whatever it is. And so it's not that one side is better than another, but it's just that we're different. And getting around other like-minded people is just huge. So when you get to
I say this all the time, Ron. I say this all the time. You've got to get in rooms with people who think bigger than you do.
Exactly.
You have got to get in rooms with people who think bigger than you do. Exactly. That has been the one mind shift for me over the last 6 or 7 months. I paid $25,000 to be a Cardone licensee. 25 grand. Now I have quadrupled my money already. You've been on our calls, dude. Every time we're on a call, Grant's like, Ken, share your story. He's pulling me in. I have to be careful when Grant does an Instagram live, not to have a shirt on or something, because literally he'll pull me in on my treadmill. I'll be sitting at the table with no shirt on. I'm like, or in the shower. I'm like, I can't, because he'll just pull me in. Ken, tell everybody, listen, the one thing that being in that world has done more than anything else is it's given me proximity with people who think way bigger than I do. And what it does is it literally lifts the lid off of how I'm thinking or seeing my business to an entirely different level, so that I can dream bigger dreams. I can set 10x goals. I can believe that, you know what? Hey, I can do that. I can achieve that. Yep. Hey, I can be a passionate leader. I can do the same things that Ron Couming is doing. I can do what Ken's doing. I told a client this morning, I've been on 3 client phone calls already today. I told a client this morning, I said, listen, I said, what I want people to do with me, and I know you do, I know your heart, Ron, as well, is I just want people to look at Ken and go, dude, if he can do it, I can do it. If Ron can do it, I can do it. There's nothing special about me. I bust my ass to do what I'm doing. I'm up in the morning. I'm doing my quiet time. I'm watching Cardone U. I'm writing my 10X goals down. I'm reading 3 Feet from Gold, or I'm reading Strength Finders 2.0. I'm in the gym losing 40 pounds because I knew that my goal was to be a Division I umpire. I went to SEC and ACC camp in Louisiana this year, and they went, Ken, you're doing a great job. This is only my 3rd year. I just finished my 3rd year back in the game after 14 years off. And they said, Ken, you're doing great. You got to lose some weight, man. I got on a scale and I was like, oh, dang. And it hurt my feelings. But I couldn't set a goal for 66 pounds until I faced the reality of where I was at.
I love it. And I see your pictures of the gym, and I'm jealous because I used to go to the gym, yeah. 5-6 days a week. Now it's just, I do a little bit of stuff around the house. So you must have your own gym or something.
Yeah, I've got my own weight rack and a treadmill, which I'm not a treadmill fan, but I'll do what I got to do, man. So one of the things I posted last week, I know you may have mentioned this, is that our level of discipline is always revealed in our results. Our level of discipline is always revealed in our results. I'd hit 36, 37 pounds. I couldn't get over that. Like my diet was the same. I use my Fitness Pal. Everything goes in my Fitness Pal, what I eat, what my exercise is. So I had to raise my level of discipline in order to see my level of success, my results go up. So I went from 3 miles on the treadmill to 4 miles on the treadmill. In a week, I dropped those 3 pounds. And last week when I was in California with a client, I hit. I'm about 40 and a half pounds, almost 41 pounds down. I lost those 3 pounds in about a week and a half because I raised the level of my discipline. And in turn, I saw the level of my results increase as well.
I love it. I love it. And going back to what you said about, all these events and stuff, if you're the smartest person in the room or you're the smartest person in the group, you're in the wrong group. Because people who are, multimillionaires, people who are, you want to surround yourself with people who are operating on 5 or 10 levels above where you are and where you want to be, you know what I mean? And because they think different, they ask different questions, you know what I mean? Their mindset is different. Their daily habits are different. So you surround yourself with these type of people, even if you got to pay up to show up, to blow up, you know what I mean?
Pay for proximity, man. Pay for proximity. Sometimes that's what you have to do.
You did it with the 25K.
I did.
And you've already made, 4 or 5 times that, if not more. Yep. And I love earlier, you spoke about one of the other things that Greg Reed says is, who wrote 3 Feet from Gold, co-author, is seek counsel, not advice. So you want to seek counsel from people who've already been there and done that, opposed to, asking, your broke brother-in-law for financial
advice. Right.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? So I love everything you're doing, Ken. In closing, is there anything you'd love to say to our listeners?
Yeah, most definitely I would. I think it's huge. I think coaching is huge. I just told you I spent I spent more. I spent $6,000 going to boot camp that weekend. I spent another 25. I bought 8 boot camp tickets, which cost me $16,000 to take my entire real estate team. And then I spent $10,000 more on 2 diamond seats, $5,000 a piece for next year's GrowthCon already. I mean, I already have invested that money to be able to raise my level and my team's level. What I would say to you out there today, if you're watching, this Wednesday night, growstackdrive.com, the link is there, growstackdrive.com. We are in our second week of online coaching. We started, listen, Ron, I cut the price from $799 down to $397. It's $397 a person. Last week, dude, last week, we literally talked about 5 mindset shifts we have to make in order to see massive action. And let me tell you, I narrowed down on one thing, dude. You know how it is when you hit a nerve and you can see the whole Zoom room kind of squirm and go, ooh, ooh, ooh. I literally talked about mindset shifts. And then at the end of the night, I focused on our calendar. I said, listen, my calendar has 4 blocks, 4 colors in my calendar. 4 colors. Because here's the deal. If I can't dominate my calendar, I'm not going to dominate tomorrow. If I can't dominate my calendar, I'm not going to see people go, Ken, how have you done all this in 6 months? Because I'm disciplined with my calendar. I've got 4 blocks, 4 color codes. I've got blue, which is my time. That's me. That is my quiet time, my Cardone U, my reading time, and my physical workout. I've got green on my calendar. That's where I make money. Like those are my blocks on my days where I know I'm making money. I've got yellow. Yellow is where I'm working on my business, like what I'm doing right now. This is a yellow block in my calendar. I'm working on, I'm adding value. I'm getting out there and building our brand. And then I've got red, which is my family time. Like I schedule times for each of those blocks. So what would I say today? I would say, listen, growstackdrive.com, kenjoslingroup.com, get a 30-minute session with me. I don't care if it's me. If Ron's got something, get Ron. Find someone who has achieved something and get them to coach you. I had a mentor tell me in 2000, she's still a dear friend today. She told me, she said, Ken, my role in your life as a mentor is to help you avoid the potholes and the landmines of life. That's exactly what she told me. She's one of the most successful people in her field, in her space that the world's ever seen. And that's exactly what she told me. I'm here to help you avoid the landmines and help you avoid the potholes that you're going to see in your journey doing what you're doing. I would say get coached. It's $397. We started last week. We've got 8 more weeks to go. Find somebody to get coached by.
I love it. Now, Ken, if they jump in now today or tomorrow or, this week, will they get access to the recording or something that they missed?
Yep. Yeah. So we do it. We do an ebook every week. It's really cool. It's got about 3 or 4 pictures of me, which causes you to dive into the content because you don't want to look at my big ugly face on the front of the ebook. You go, where's the content at? It's got literally, if you're OCD like me, it's got fill in the blanks and homework assignments. Like on the calendar this week, their homework assignment was, hey, snap a screenshot of your calendar. We've got a Grow Stack Drive private Facebook page. I want to see what that calendar looks like. We bought everybody Strength Finders 2.0. I want you to list what your top 5 strengths are. We're going to talk about that this Wednesday. So we sent out a Zoom link with the Zoom recording as well as the ebook to everybody the day after or the day before. And then we resent it out again the day after. Stacy, who's my executive assistant. So yeah, you can go back and watch that, get the ebook and just jump right in line and be right with and track with everybody else that's in the group.
I love it, brother. I love it. I love what you're doing. I love your energy. I love your passion. I'm a huge fan of 10X. I'm a subscriber. I've been involved with it myself. Congratulations on everything.
Ron, I appreciate it.
You have a great day, man. Anything else?
You too, buddy. No, dude. Hey, thanks for the opportunity to be here. Honored for all of you guys that take some time to listen. Man, just honored that Ron, that you extended an invitation and just to be in the same names as Sharon Lecter and Greg Reed and all the different people that you've had on. Man, just honored to be a part, man. Super humbled by being here where I'm at and just excited. I've shared this with Grant, with Richie, with Elena. Man, I want to help people win. I want to help people win in life and whatever, if that's personal, professional, or financial, that really is my heartbeat. I lay my head on the pillow at night knowing I've won that day when I can help business owners and moms and dads and people win.
I love it. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you. Our special guest today was Ken Joslin. My name is Ronald Couming. You've been listening to Ken Joslin on the Success Secrets Revealed show, sponsored by RCS Online Solutions. I hope you all have a great day. Please go back and listen to this if you're hearing it late. Bye now.